Hey, this is Mary Lou Foster. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Sulphur Springs, Texas. And it just so happens today is July the 4th. I usually don't say what day I'm recording on because it changes. And I don't know what day you're going to watch it. Okay. So today I have a really pretty floral card using some new products that were released in the new annual catalog. I'm going to be using the particularly designer series paper and the bundle from the Floral Impressions suite of products. Currently they're not all available, but this paper is available and it is flowery. Look at that. That looks like summer, doesn't it? So one side, of course, has lots of flowers. The other side, or the B side, is a calmer type design. And when I designed these cards, I wanted to showcase the new in colors. This is called Timid Tiger, this orangey. And I'm going to also today use Strawberry Slush. That's one of the new in colors. But look at the list of colors that this paper coordinates with. Darling Duckling. I have to be very careful about that one because it's not my favorite color of yellow. Crushed Curry, that's a nice rich fall color. Fresh Freesia, that's this pretty orchidy purpley. You know me, I like purple. Garden Green, Misty Moonlight, Old Olive. Peach Pie is an in color. It's from last year. Pecan Pie is a new core color. Pool Party, Pretty in Pink, which is a returning in color. And Strawberry Slush, also a returning in color. And since this paper coordinated so well with so many of them, so actually the paper, the Floral Impressions, has its own stamp set. But I did not buy that. I just bought the paper because I already had Impressions A Bloom, which had plenty of flowers, and I thought I could probably get away with mixing them. So I'm using the Impressions A Bloom for my flowers. My sentiment comes from layering leaves. Sometimes the sentiments, like this one, is kind of I appreciate you and thanks. And I knew that, I didn't necessarily want to make that thank you cards, but the layering leaves has a nice selection of other sentiments. And sometimes my ladies want to maybe do a birthday card or thinking of you card. This card is a top fold card. And look how fun the inside is. So I thought what I would do today, I already had one stamped in the Timid Tiger. But I'm going to show you about this two-step stamping stuff. Say that. These stamps have a line stamp and a solid stamp. I'm going to show you how to bring out the detail with those stamps. There are a ton of stamps. I'm not going to get them all out because I want to do my stamping of my colors first. So because I want to feature some of the other colors that this set coordinates with, it's called Impressions A Bloom Designer Series paper. All right. I like to stamp the detail, the line images first. So I'm going to ink my stamp up with Strawberry Slush and stamp it. And some hints about that. If your ink pad is super, super juicy, sometimes your lines get all run together. And I'll show you what I mean. You can tell on this Timid Tiger one. See how there isn't much detail right here, but on the Strawberry Slush, there's more lines and kind of splotched images. If your ink pad is too inky, you can take a spoon and move the color around on these ink pads, like move color over to the edge. So whenever you're ready to ink up your, see how that's splotchy? I could just see on my, that's better. All right, so this is two-step stamping because I want a lighter color for my petals. I've already applied the dark ink for the lines, and if I did it the same generation, it would just be one big blob. Trust me, I've done it. But look at that. Look at the definition. Because I stamped off on this solid one, I just used a piece of scratch paper. I've got the variation in colors. So that's the strawberry slush. I'll just lay this on here. And I'm going to clean my stamp. I had to put my stamp cleaning pad. It dried out. So it's sitting in the sink, rehydrating itself. What did I do with the lines? Here they are. So I just have a wet wipe. The thing about them, you do have to be careful there. They do fall apart sometimes. So how's your summer been going? Our summer has not been going as planned. Let's do fresh freesia. My husband had knee surgery on the 30th of April. He got infected, and we spent the first 2 weeks of June in the hospital getting that treated, and we are still in the throes of getting it cleaned up so he can get it replaced again. So it's IV antibiotics every 8 hours, wound vac care. That dressing gets changed 3 times a week. To say I haven't had time to stamp, I really haven't had time to stamp. And when I do have time, I am so tired because he's not able to help around the house like he usually does. I'm not trying to complain. I'm just trying to fill you in on what's been going on in our lives. So June went by in a blur. We've been home, back to the hospital for another procedure. And the doctor appointments are fixing to begin this week. So I won't be at liberty to do what I want to do when I want to do it. But God is good. He's healing. Let's do pool party. That was one of the colors that this paper coordinates with. And when I cut my pieces of paper, depending on which strip you ended up with for your card, you might have a piece that leaned more towards the pool party or more towards the Timid Tiger or Strawberry Slush. And I'm like, you can move that oval piece around. So the secret to this, let me change subject. There's this one petal that sticks out and is round. And that's what I look for on my solid stamp to know how to stamp. Let me rotate it just a little bit. How to stamp that. How pretty that is. So I always look for that petal to get that lined up. Now let's stamp the inside, the center. And there is a stamp for that. And it has some detail on it. And we are going to use pecan pie. And what I thought I might do for this one is experiment with the generational stamping. I already stamped that one. I think I'll stamp one full strength. Let's do the pool part. Let's do the Strawberry Slush full strength. And excuse me if I get my head in the way. And then let's do the Fresh Freesia second generation. Yeah. And we'll go ahead and do Pool Party first generation. That's how you talk about the different tones or shades of the color. Is if it's freshly stamped, that's the first generation. If it's stamped off, that's the second generation. And sometimes you can get away with even the third. Some people are very creative and they make distress cards with all the different generations. It's a really cool look. All right. I'm not going to waste your time die cutting those because you know what die cutting looks like. So in the stamp kit that I prepped, you've got your Timid Tiger. And I wanted to showcase the paper. So that's why there is the piece of designer series paper for the inside. And you're free to use either side. I like flowers. Y'all, you should see my yard. I've had more time to do flowers this year. And I've gone a little crazy. So every day I'm out there pulling grass somewhere. Because let me tell you, that grass, it does grow. And we had enough rain. And now it's just warm enough. And the weeds are going to grow faster than the flowers. You notice that I've stamped. And see how it's... Timid Tiger, that ink pad was really juicy, so it's not a real great, there's not a lot of detail. So I layered garden green, and as you can see, look at all the different colors of that strip of the designer series paper. When you turn it over, the fresh freesia and the Timid Tiger, they kind of clash. I'm sure they're complementary or something, but I wouldn't put them together. But then all these flowers, I don't have a problem with that. And a little mat, just to add some detail. And the flowers pop a little better. I tried it without the mat, but there's so much color. I'm like, let's go for it. Let's go for the color. And this lined up. See how pretty that is? It just makes the... So I have already stamped in garden green. And look at this little guy. You do have to hold your mouth just right to get him on him. It's got to be him because it's difficult. And then the leaf. I did not do that one the two-step stamping. You can. There is a solid and a lined, but I thought there was plenty enough detail with just this stamp to not do the two-step stamping. And then I stamped my sentiment, so happy to celebrate you, in pecan pie, because that would bring in the color that I stamped in the center of the flower. And then just kind of figure out. One thing that I did do to add a little bit of sparkle, and you know you can't see it very good on the camera, is I used some Wink of Stella to add sparkle, because you know this is the ranch dressing of card making. And it doesn't have to be perfect or anything. Ooh, that blurped out. Got just some sparkle going on there. All right. And I'm going to, I probably should have done this before I did it dries really fast, the Wink of Stella. Let me turn it upside down on my scratch paper. And I'm going to put 3 dimensionals. So, you know, one's not really enough in the middle of this. I want to do it right there. Oops. And I was thinking, you know what? I've gotten these in color. Oh man, I just knocked it off. This one is pecan pie. You know what? I think I'm going to call an audible and tie some ribbon around this one. Just because I can. Yeah, how much do we need? Let's do enough so we can tie a nice ribbon. And it's not the Timid Tiger, but the pecan pie is also an orange. I mean peach pie. Oh, I love peach pie. I love peaches. I drink Crystal Light peach tea all the time. All right, here we go. And give it a little haircut. And then I can pick where I want this to go because, like if I want those, since they are kind of the same color, I can do it up like that. I believe that's what I'll do. And once again, let's do some dimensionals. Put them at the top, at the bottom, kind of in the middle-ish. Get the backing removed. All right, so I'm using, Impressions of Bloom photopolymer stamps. And I will do a list of supplies that I have used. Look how pretty that is. Then the embellishments. They have given us the 20, where's the name of what these are? Muted palette dot. That's not what I thought I had. That's what I'm going to use. You know what? I think I'll do these green. Yeah, probably. And let's see. Do one here. Let's do one here. And do one here. All right. And that, my friends, I'll put the other ones together and do a picture of what they look like then with all the other colors. But that is my card today using the Floral Impressions Designer Series paper. That's what DSP stands for. Which I like the one with the ribbon better, don't you? And this one I used the different dots, different color. So that's what I had for you today. If you have any questions, just reach out. Well, I keep hitting the wrong button. Impressions of Bloom photopolymer stamps. You can shop with me at my name, maryloufoster.stampingup.net. And I will see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.